So previously we went through the analysis of loops and programming. Now we're gonna observe how to implement the three different types of loops in our programs. And using Java, I'm gonna implement and explain how each type works step by step. So let's get started with the while loop. So let's implement the while loop real quick. Here's a simple example of a program that prompts me to enter a number 5 and prints the sum is 5. Now I want to make this program allow me to enter more than one number and prints out the sum. So let me just remove all that, start with a while, make the condition number is not equal to 0. So I want to make the system compute every number I enter until I enter the number 0. That's when the program ends. Okay, so first, after I enter the number, the system enters the loop. That's where I add the number, the value of number, to my sum. After that, I wanted to make this a line break. Let me make it print the new sum is the value of sum. And after that, print again, line break. Let me just make a line break here. Okay, enter the new value. After that, I call number to input dot next int. Make it print after the system exits this loop. I want it to print program ended. Okay, so let me run it. So it prompted me to enter a number. I want to enter a number that's not equal to 0. Let's say if I entered 0, the condition is false, then the system ignores this loop and prints out just program ended. Whereas if I enter a number that's not equal to 0, so 6, the new sum is 6. Enter a new value. So after it printed the sum, it goes down and prompts me to enter another number. So 2, the new sum is 8. So went back up, computed the sum with the new value of 2 and printed the new sum is 8. Let me go on. So 7 plus 8, 15, 9 plus 15, 24. And as I enter 0, the program ended. So what happened here is every time I input a new number, that's when the system goes back up to recheck the condition of whether the new value is 0 or not. If it's not equal to 0, then it recomputes the sum and prints it. And it goes over and over until the value of number is 0. Now moving on to the do while loop. Now this is my simple coin toss program where if I run it, it asks me to guess the coin toss, either head or tails. Let's say I guessed head. Okay, I guessed right. Great. And program ended. Now let's say I want to play again without necessarily rerunning my program. So now I want to implement the do while loop. So in my do while, let me just copy all this and paste it in like that. So it prompts me to guess the coin toss, I guess it, and returns my result. Now in here I wanted to display a dialog message asking me whether I'd like to play again or exit. So in here let me just deploy a variable, call it choice integer variable, and declare choice, set it equal to JOptionPane, should call show confirm, yeah, show confirm. Set the parent component to null, message, okay, just set the message, would you like to play again? And make my condition of whether choice is equal to JOptionPane dot yes option, so 0. Okay, so for the do while loop, it runs the program once, then checks the condition before deciding whether to run the loop body again or exit. So now if I run it, it's in here, guess the coin toss, so head, you guessed right. Now if I click OK, would you like to play again? If I hit yes, like it says here, it goes back to the top. Guess the coin toss, tails, you guessed right. Would you like to play again? Once more, H, you get nice, 3 in a row. Okay, and as soon as I hit no, it exits this loop and prints program ended. And finally we have the for loop. Okay, so I have this simple program that converts a value of kilograms in pounds. So I want to implement this in a for loop. Let's say I want to reach 200 kilograms and see how much it does in pounds. So let me just copy this. Let me start with the for loop. So the for loop takes 3 things in parentheses. First it takes the initial action. Let's say I want my initial action to be declaring a variable, call it kg for kilograms, and assign the value of 1, followed by the second action, which is the continuation condition, which is the condition of whether it should continue this loop or not. So I want kg to be less than or equal to, I said 200, yeah. And my third action is my action to take place after every iteration. So after every iteration, I want my value of kilograms to be incremented by 1. So when the loop runs the first time, kilogram would be equal to 1. And as the loop runs the second time, kilogram would be equal to 2. Because here it was incremented by 1. And until kilogram reaches 201, that's when this condition becomes false and the system exits this loop. So let me just add a statement here to print program ended. Okay, just have to paste this. This is what I have just copied. Change this to kilogram and kilogram times 2.2. Now if I run it, 2.2, oh, what happened here? Okay, so I should do a line break. So system.out.println, then run it. That's better. So I made my for loop run from 1 kilogram down to 200. So 200 kilograms makes up 440 pounds.
Just a quick note about the for loop is that the for loop is more likely referred to as a counter control loop. That's why it's often used by developers in most cases, because of its easy to implement and high maintainability.
So now let's say I want to do a multiplication table real quick. So let me first print multiplication table. And after that, I start with my for loop. Initial action I equal start with 1, then I less than or equal to 10, make it run 10 times, and I plus plus. And inside this for loop I can do another for loop, call it start the initial action with j, assign it to 1, and j also less than or equal to 10, and j plus plus. So let's say, okay, so system.out.print percentage of 3 t and give it the value of j times I. Okay, and after I'm done with my nested loop, I perform a line break. I think it should work. Let me run it. There we go, it worked. So that's how I benefited from my for loop to compute a multiplication table. Very nice.
So here we observed how to implement the 3 different types of loops in our programs. Make sure to follow my tutorials on loops on my YouTube channel and follow my page to stay updated. Happy coding and you're welcome.